country in the world to ban under 16s from having social media accounts. With one law, we can protect Generation Alpha from being sucked into purgatory by predatory algorithms described by the man who created the feature.
I feel like I could tie anxiety to social media. Yeah. But the fact that it's a law, that's very important. When kids say it's against the law, I feel like kids are like scared, Us adults, we hear against the law. It's like, but kids, when they hear against the law, they're like, oh, I can't do that, Yeah, them kids are gonna be pissed. They're gonna try to find a way around it. And the only reason I say that's because I was once a child. I remember when the schools didn't allow cell phones, they would take our phones and the internet. You can't access Facebook or MySpace or anything, but we found loopholes. I remember being on MySpace in chorus class in 2008. I don't remember how old I was. YP said, nah, the new generation, they are fearless. And that's crazy. My husband said that the other day. I don't know about that. I'm new to being a parent. But I could see why. I could see that they're fearless. I don't know if that's down to their DNA or what. They saying that these newer kids, they a little more advanced. I don't know. I'm gonna find that out soon once my kids grow up. And I try to keep social media from them. But my take is I do agree with social media being taken from kids, especially under the age of 16 years old. I am pro that law for all across the globe. And a lot of people, well, I don't think people, but kids are going to be angry when I say that. But underneath the age of 16 years old, like what happens when we're 16? I don't even want to get into detail. Y'all know what happens at the age of 16, okay? You start to think you're a little grown, It's not even just hormonally, but this is way past the hormones. You really mentally start to think you are grown, okay? It's the songs, everything they popularize in life now. Whew. And it definitely has an impact. I don't want to use anything as an example, but I have met kids that think certain things are cool. Substances, talking about, you don't want to be here no more, because they listen to this music all the time. But that's just the impact of music. Okay, so the only way to get access to it is social media, if they don't have like, hey Lakeith, if they don't have those streaming platforms. But yes, social media is a dangerous place, especially for kids under the age of 16 years old. Their minds are sponges. I like when a kid just grows up with environment and education. I mean, that's another thing too. Pulling that social media cord is not going to, if that kid is in a toxic environment, that's the catalyst. Like that's the main factor of everything. But if we were to assume that this child is in a great family, a great prospering positive family, and they don't have social media, I feel that kid will grow up to be a decent adult. But having kids access to social media under the age of 16, it's dangerous. The world of social media, it doesn't matter how many parental controls an app could have. Ooh, these platforms have a way of sliding things in. Let me tell y'all a story. There is absolutely nothing wrong with the LGBT love and just being themselves. I'm all for that. But I do feel like kids should at least have the opportunity to see, what's the word? Somebody help me out. No, man in a woman. My daughter was only 4 months years old. And at 4 months, that's when kids start to watch cartoons. So the first cartoon my daughter would watch is Peppa Pig. And I'm just on the, don't pull my shirt off. And I'm just watching, I'm about to read your comment in a second. I'm just, doing what I'm doing, and she's watching her show. And my husband said, "What was that?" He turned it off. I'm like, "What? It's just Peppa Pig." He said, "No, did you hear that?" He rewinded it. The episode of Peppa Pig was talking about parents, and then they were just flashing pictures of parents. And then they were like, "Yeah, this is my mom, my dad, and this and that." It was so quick. It was, I have two moms. And my husband cut it like that, but that's because my husband had a child before me. He cut it like that, and I was like, "Oh shit!" Like, I didn't realize it. He warned me that how fast, these social media or shows or whatever, they slide things in. So just to have that, but for social media, imagine what social media does. Kids be just flying through them reels and everything. It's just brain rotting their minds, and a whole lot of toxic shit out there. There's a whole lot of toxic. Kids should have the opportunity to at least experience, whatever standard that parent has, and get that education, and not it be influenced by external or out of control factors. And that's just how I feel. And that's why I feel like kids shouldn't have access to social media, especially under the age of 16. Especially, I don't know about y'all, but hormonally, okay, I think by the time 16 comes, people be wanting to do things, if you know what I mean. If I were to speak in that language, sex, okay, they be wanting to do that, okay. Kids deserve a chance to just be themselves and be in their education, be in their home, and not have those external factors. Because I had a friend that was 13 years old, and she wanted to, because she was listening to, that's the time Pretty Ricky was coming out. Yeah, y'all know what I mean. Allow them the chance, okay, to not have access to them. But yes, I agree with you, YPF9. That music shit is powerful. It's powerful. Ooh, that's powerful. Oh, way more, I think way more powerful than social media itself. So let me know what y'all think in the chat.